Welcome to the second part of this Stata tutorial. In this part, I will cover some tips for using Stata, in particular, how to prepare the assignment submission. First, as a piece of advice, I will always create a designated folder for a particular assignment or project. In this case, on the desktop here, I create a folder. I call it Stata Demo. It contains all the related files in this folder. And in this case, I have two datasets saved here in this folder. And later on, all the do file, log file, as well as pictures and the Word file, Excel file, they will all be saved in this folder. Now let's open Stata. Okay. So first thing, I want to change my working directory to that designated folder. To do that, I go to on the top left corner, click File, change working directory, and I will find the designated folder. In this case, it's Stata Demo. Click OK. So from now on, the default folder will be Stata Demo, the designated folder. So all the files that I am about to save, it will be directly saved into that folder. Now let me load a dataset. I want to load this BBB data. Double click. When working on a dataset, one thing we always need to pay attention to is for each variable, what type it is. Take this dataset as an example. Here we can see for these variables, some are in the font of black, some are in red, and one of them, the buyer, is in blue. The variables are in black or blue are numerical variables. The only difference is that for the blue ones, they show the label value. Here we see yes and no, but for yes, the corresponding value is 1. For no, the corresponding value is 0. For red variables, they are string variables. For string variables, each unique level, there is no numerical value corresponding to it. As a result, how we analyze the data will depending on the type of the variable. For example, suppose I want to take a look of the average total spending of female customers. And the variable here that we have in mind is total dollar spent. To take a look at the mean, we can summarize total, and if gender equals to F, it does not work. The reason is gender is a red variable. It's a string variable. So instead, we should have a quotation around the F in this case. Oh, I made another mistake, and this is a very common mistake. Here, we need to use double equal sign. Here we go. Now, suppose I want to take a look of the total spending among those customers who are buyers. In this case, summarize total lower bar if buyer equals to yes. It does not work either. The reason is buyer is a labeled numerical variable. In this case, we need to use the corresponding numerical value 0 or 1. So we should use summarize total if buyer double equal sign equals to 1. Sometimes we want to keep a work log of the commands that we have run as well as the results and outputs. To do so, what we could do is to open a log file to record all the work we've done. Let's go to user and record your work, and we will open log and save as, and here I will type in the name of the log that I want to use, Stata Demo, save. Here I can replace any existing log or append to existing log. And okay. So now if I start typing any command, the command as well as the results of that command will be recorded into the log file. For example, summarize total if buyer equals to 1. Summarize total gender equals to us. Oh, that's a mistake. Okay. So now let's close the log. Close the log. Let's take a look at the log file that we just created. Here is the log file that we just created. You can open it using Notepad or any text editor. Here you can see not only the commands that are typed in and were recorded, it also contains the output of that command, as well as the error message that is received when I type in a command by mistake. And this is a record of all the commands that we have run, and for example, for a particular project or for a particular assignment. To interact with Stata, besides using the command window tool in an interactive mode, we can also use a file called the do file to execute commands in a batch mode. To create a do file, we go to here, new do file editor, open the do file editor, and then we can start typing. Alternatively, we can copy the command that we want to run from the review window, copy them, and then go to the do file editor, paste. And we can also do this and select the command that we want to run and want to send to the do file editor, right click, and there's an option called send to do file editor. Here, as you can see here, there's a new file created with the commands that we just selected. And then we can save the do file into the folder that's called Stata demo. Okay. How will this do file help us? And it will become especially useful if we combine the log file as well as the do file together. So in particular, here we have a record of all the commands that we run. We can copy them into a do file editor. And at the same time, we can open the log file that we had earlier. Here we have all the information about which command that we need, which command will generate a mistake, so on and so forth. So we can put the do file editor and the log file and side by side. And for example, here I know that if I forget to type in double equal sign, it will be a mistake based on the log file that I created. So I need to get rid of that command. Okay, and I also know if based on the log file record, if I use yes rather than 1, there will be a mistake, so I can replace it using 1, and then we can save it. So in other words, based on the comparison between the log file and the do file, we can figure out which command we want to keep and those commands that will be necessary for generating the answers for the assignment or the project. Okay. And then we can save. What we could do next is run this do file. And to run this do file, and we just execute do. And so let's see what the end result will be. Execute do. Click the button on the far right. And if we go back to Stata, you can see here, and the two command in the do file has just been executed, and together with output. So in this way, we can get a very neat output, and with only the commands that are correct. Okay, And more importantly, another way to use do file is basically to make this even better is that we can open a log file first. Data demo 2. Okay. And then go to the do file editor, execute, and then go back to Stata, close the log file. So now if we go to the designated folder, and this is the log file we just created, and if we open it, it only contains the correct commands that we need for the assignment. And then we can eliminate the unnecessary text. So here we'll have a record of the command for the assignment as well as the correct answers. Sometimes we may also want to copy the table, the results, into a Word file and for a report. To do that, what we can do is we can select the table that's generated in the Stata results window. Copy, and if we go to Word and paste, well, it doesn't look very pretty. And the reason is in Word, they are using a type of font. It's called a variable pitch. In other words, each font, depending on which letter it is, the width of the letter will be different across. And instead, we need to use the alternative called fixed pitch. So no matter what letter, what number that you're typing in, and they have the same width. So in this case, and the default here is Times New Roman, and we need to change into a fixed pitch font. And one of such fonts is called Courier New. Okay, and hit enter. Here you can see now the result looks much better. Okay. And alternatively, what we could do is we can go to Stata and copy the table as table, copy table, and then we go to Excel and paste it and in Excel. So now when it is being pasted into Excel, and it will be pasted as a table. So then we copy the table from Excel and then go to Word and paste. In this case, it will give you different options. And for example, I can choose this use destination style and paste it. So it looks much better, and it's a nice table. So I need to get rid of this additional row, and so I just delete. Delete the entire row. Here we go. And in last tutorial session, we talked about how to save pictures and in the format of PDF or PNG. And we can also directly copy those pictures into Word and to make a very nice report. This will conclude our tutorial session. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to email me. And I also suggest, if you are not familiar with Stata, there is a PDF file posted on Blackboard, and I would suggest you to go over that file, and it has even more detailed information about how to use Stata for this course. Thank you very much.